From the sleepy town of Hawkins having a darker past than we thought, to the haunted woods of Evil Dead Rise having major significance for the Hawkins 5. It looks like the worlds of Stranger Things and horror flicks are colliding. That's right, folks. Things writers have teased that Season 5 has a connection to Evil Dead Rise. Here's everything we know. So it looks like the hype train for the final season of Stranger Things is chugging along. According to a tweet from the show's writer's room, Season 5 of Stranger Things has something small but awesome in common with the recently released horror hit Evil Dead Rise, which has been getting a lot of buzz from both fans and critics. Sounds intriguing, right? In a follow-up tweet, they revealed that some of the guesses from fans are so close but no cigar. I can't help but wonder what this connection could be. Perhaps we'll see a motherhood theme or even a demonic possession storyline. The only real hint we have is the poster, which shows a dead-eyed version of Alyssa Sutherland's character, clutching her kids in a pretty creepy way. But what does this mean? Your guess is as good as mine. And hey, that's all part of the fun, right? Let's dive deeper into what this connection could be. While we might see some familiar items like the broomstick, chainsaw, or Necronomicon make an appearance, it's important to remember that these are part of the entire Evil Dead franchise, not just Rise. So what else could the two have in common? On the theme of motherhood, we've seen some pretty terrifying examples of motherhood in horror movies before, so it wouldn't be surprising if Stranger Things decided to explore this theme as well. Who knows what kind of horrifying twists and turns we could be in for? It turns out that Evil Dead Rise centers around a single mother who gets possessed by the Deadites after her kids stumble upon the Necronomicon. This seems to be a pretty clear thematic link between the movie and Stranger Things. Both explore the idea of motherhood and the sacrifices that come with it. It's interesting to note that Evil Dead Rise takes a pretty dark approach to this theme, suggesting that children can be the death of women's lives, and that their sacrifices can come back to haunt them. The possessed mother, Ellie, ends up consuming two of her own children, which is just horrifying. And to make matters worse, her sister Beth is forced to kill them in a tragic turn of events. Yikes! Just when it seems like everything is going to be okay, the Deadites are unleashed on an unsuspecting bystander, who then spreads the virus of the Necronomicon to the wider world. It's all pretty intense stuff, and I can't wait to see how Stranger Things weaves these themes and ideas into their own story. Okay, so let's try to connect the dots here. At the end of Stranger Things Season 4, we saw the Upside Down seemingly merge with Hawkins after Eleven and the gang defeated Vecna. It's still unclear exactly what this means, but it's possible that this merge could lead to the Upside Down and Vecna setting their sights on possessing the town once again. Much like in Season 3, this is where the thematic link with Evil Dead Rise comes in. Both stories explore the idea of possession and the horrifying consequences that come with it. Perhaps the possessed mother in Evil Dead Rise could serve as a kind of cautionary tale for what could happen to Eleven or other characters in Stranger Things if they were to be taken over by the Upside Down or Vecna. It's all speculation at this point, but it's definitely an intriguing connection to consider. With the barrier between the Upside Down and Hawkins tore down, Vecna may have a much wider reach than just Hawkins. This is similar to the Deadites virus being spread to the wider world in Evil Dead Rise. The Upside Down may be also looking to dominate the entire world, not just Hawkins. And if we tie it back to the motherhood themes of Evil Dead Rise, Eleven's mother Terry is still alive and could play a significant role in the upcoming season. So, Terry being used as a vessel by Vecna to get to Eleven would definitely take the invasion of the Body Snatchers influences in Season 3 to the next level. It might be a bit too big for the small connection with Evil Dead Rise, but who knows what the writers have in store for us. After all, Stranger Things has always been a love letter to the horror genre, with Stephen King and Steven Spielberg being two of the main influences. It's exciting to think about what kind of nods and references we might see in Season 5, especially with this intriguing connection to Evil Dead Rise. Each season of Stranger Things has tackled a different subgenre of horror, so Season 4 draws inspiration from Nightmare on Elm Street, and Season 5 is the final chapter in this series. It's possible that the show could go out with a bang by exploring the blood-soaked influences of Evil Dead. It would be a fitting end to a series that has paid homage to so many different horror classics over the years. I can already picture the chainsaws and Necronomicon in my mind. And while that's all fine and dandy, fans are having a field day theorizing about the potential connection. One theory making the rounds is that characters from the show could come back as zombies or deadites. While it would definitely make for a horrifying plot twist, the writers have already shut this theory down. It looks like we won't be seeing a deadite army of deceased characters rampaging through Hawkins anytime soon. Even though this theory was killed by the writers, some other fans are digging really deep into it. Another theory that's causing a stir is that the name Eddie in Evil Dead Rise is a nod to the character of Eddie in Stranger Things, who was believed to have died in Season 4.
Oh, God. Oh, God, Eddie.
Bad, huh?
No, you're gonna be fine. We just gotta get you to a hospital, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Come on. Give me a second, okay?
Some fans are convinced that this is a deliberate tease from the writers, and that Eddie is actually still alive. It's definitely a tantalizing idea, especially since you can make Eddie is alive from the title with just one letter change. Anyway, some fans have noticed that Wuthering Heights is being read at the beginning of Evil Dead Rise. They've drawn a connection to Kate Bush's song. It's a bit of a stretch, but who knows? Maybe we'll hear some Kate Bush on the Stranger Things soundtrack in the upcoming season. One theory that's been floating around is that the deaths in Evil Dead Rise are suspiciously similar to the way Vecna's victims, apparently floating in the air and snapping limbs, are the main culprits. Could this be a coincidence? Or is there something deeper going on here? Who knows? Maybe the writers of Evil Dead Rise were binge-watching Stranger Things before they wrote the script. Now let's get into some really interesting territory. As we all know, the Necronomicon is a major part of the Evil Dead franchise. But could there be a similar kind of book heading to Stranger Things Season 5? It's definitely possible, given the show's penchant for paying homage to classic horror tropes. It wouldn't be surprising if we saw a Book of the Dead make an appearance in some form. Who knows what kind of unspeakable horrors it could unleash upon Hawkins and beyond. I'm both excited and terrified at the thought, but I'm even more terrified of the next theory. It looks like things might not bode well for Joyce in Stranger Things Season 5. Some fans are speculating that the fate of the mother in Evil Dead Rise, who doesn't seem to be having a great time, based on the poster alone, could be a clue that Joyce is going down a similar grisly path. It's definitely a worrying thought, and it just goes to show how much fans care about these characters and their fates. Let's just hope that Joyce makes it out alive. While all these theories are pretty fascinating, when is Season 5 premiering? Well, there's no confirmed release date yet. The fact that filming is set to begin in June means that we could see this series come to a conclusion as early as 2024. It's definitely a long wait, but I have a feeling it'll be worth it. Having said that, that's all I had to say about the Stranger Things and Evil Dead crossover.